right, right off the top, you see it in real time. Stocks down as companies and investors react to Trump tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. So here's what world leaders woke up to today. For Canada and Mexico, a 25% import tax on goods that come into the United States. Also, a 10% tax on Canadian energy imports. Now, for China, tariffs ratcheted up to 20% total. Here's the president explaining this move.
It's going to be very costly for people to take advantage of this country. They can't come in and steal our money and steal our jobs and take our factories and take our businesses and expect not to be punished. And they're being punished by tariffs. It's a very powerful weapon that politicians haven't used because they were either dishonest, stupid, or paid off in some other form. And now we're using them.
CBS News correspondent Lana Zak is in Windsor, Canada, just across the border from the Motor City of Detroit. No doubt a lot of automakers are watching this closely, Lana. The Canadian Prime Minister very pointed in his world address in the last hour.
Absolutely. So reciprocal tariffs from Canada, 25% have been levied on $30 billion worth of American goods. And Trudeau says that the United States and the Trump administration specifically has 21 days to remove those tariffs on Canada before U.S. goods coming over here across the border to the tune of $155 billion are also hit with those reciprocal tariffs. Trudeau says it is a lose-lose situation. Take a listen.
Together to ensure even greater prosperity for North Americans in a very uncertain and challenging world. Now, it's not in my habit to agree with the Wall Street Journal, but Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, this is a very dumb thing to do.
Those may be seen as fighting words, Reed. As you know, President Trump cares very much about his reputation. And for Trudeau, who is an ally, to say that he's a smart guy, but it's a dumb move, that might be seen as escalatory language. And we'll have to see what then happens from the Trump administration. But we do know that Canada says they will not back down. They've always seen themselves as partners with the United States in all this. And let me just point something out to you. This is the Ambassador Bridge. $2.3 million trucks go over that bridge every single year. It is no different than moving between New York and New Jersey in many ways in terms of how much the industries rely on each other, particularly when you note that that's Detroit right over there, and a lot of those parts are manufactured right here.
Well, and also, Lana, I think of construction costs in the United States because we also know that going over that bridge, Canadian lumber, we're also reading today that housing costs could go up as a result of this. What are some of the touch points, the pain points that Americans should start to brace for?
Well, a lot of manufacturing of parts take place here. And let me tell you something that I just got from the CEO of Laval Industries when I was talking to him about this. We think made in America means that the product is completely manufactured in the United States, but that's not actually the case. Each of those component parts get manufactured in different places and then a lot of times assembled in the United States. So what is made in America, it might have gone past this border 5 times. Right. And each one of those times has the potential now to add 25% of tariffs. And that's going to apply to manufactured goods. It's going to apply to the auto industry. It's going to apply, as you say, to construction. Also, in my home state of Iowa, there is a lot of concern about fertilizer, potash. That 80 to 90% of the potash that is used by farmers in the United States comes from here in Canada. And if there's a 25% levy put on that, on the wholesale prices, the margins for American farmers cannot support that without it all being passed on to American consumers.
Well, and you see Justin Trudeau digging in his heels, wanting to work with the United States. You see on the other side of that bridge, President Donald Trump digging in his heels. Is this now going to be called a trade war? Are we definitely in a trade war?
Yeah, this is a trade war, right? There's no mincing words at this point. It could be ended relatively soon. We saw that there was a pause before when we thought we were going to enter into the trade war, but at this point it is active, especially with Canada taking that reciprocal action and promising a further escalation if the Trump administration doesn't pull back. And we just heard from the Prime Minister that he addressed specifically the American people, and he wanted to say that this isn't anything that Canada wants to do, but they feel like it is necessary.
Lana Zak, fascinating. Yes, I noted that as well. Pretty fascinating when one world leader speaks to the citizens of another nation. Thank you so much for that report across the bridge there and showing us the impacts.